Okay, cool. So now we're moving into our third tutorial here for the C++. And for this tutorial, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to, instead of starting with a new file, we're going to keep the same file and just make modifications to the code that we already wrote in the last tutorial. So in this tutorial, I want to kind of introduce you to, not just inputting string variables, but also inputting integer values, but also inputting string values. So in the last tutorial, we saw that we could input the number of shoes to C++, and then we could also take that variable and then output it to the screen. But in this tutorial, I want to introduce you to the concept of being able to input more than just an integer value. In this instance, we're going to be using strings. You can also do characters, floating point values, and a lot of other things. We'll be getting into more of that later, but for now, we're just going to use the string and the integers. So the new string I want to use is string name, and we'll set this name equal to double quotation marks. And all those double quotation marks indicate is that this is an empty string. So it doesn't really have anything in it yet. So string name equals empty quotation marks. And you may notice that we've been asking, well, how many shoes does John have? So let's change that a little bit. And instead of doing that, let's ask for your name. So cout, what is your name? In line, and then we want to send cn and name. And so what we want to do here is we say cn name, and it says how many shoes does John have. Instead of saying that, we want to say how many shoes do you have, and then your name. How many shoes do you, then we want to end the quotation marks, and then do you have, comma, and then we want to append into the string. So instead of doing the integer value, we're going to do that name value that we had already entered before. So what this will do is it'll say, what is your name? It'll ask for your name, and then you'll input your name, and after you've inputted your name, it will output that, how many shoes do you have, Cody? And then instead of saying John down here, we now want to say whatever your name is. So name has number of shoes. So if we go ahead and exit all that first, and now we want to build and run. It'll ask you for your name. My name's Cody. I'll input that. And it says, how many shoes do you have, Cody? And I'll say that I have 8 shoes. And then it says that Cody has 8 shoes. Now, it seems to work, and it does work for the most part. The thing that it won't work for, and is due to how kind of how C and C++ interprets these input strings, is let's go ahead and let's try something else. So let's say I tried to say John Smith is my name. It will output that your name is just John. And the reason for this is in C and C++, and with that cn operator, when it sees that space, it thinks that it's at the end of the input stream, so it automatically ditches whatever you are inputting before or after that space. So what we need to do is we need to make a slight modification to this, and we'll do that right now. So go in here where we're taking in the name, and saying, instead of saying cn name, we're going to say getLine. And we're going to say getLine, open parentheses, cn, comma, name for the variable name that we have above, and then a semicolon at the end. And what this will do is it'll get that entire line of text that you enter to the console, no matter what it is, no matter if it has spaces, anything up until you hit enter. So if we go ahead and build and run this, what is your name? We'll say John Smith just to try it out. And it says, how many shoes do you have, John Smith? So as you see, we have kind of overcame that little issue that we had earlier. So we'll say 6. And John Smith has 6 shoes is now outputted to the screen. So cool. There's one last little thing that I want to take a look at here, and that is what happens when you have already asked for input, then you try to use the get line operator again. A lot of times it'll automatically escape itself out. So it can lead to a lot of frustration. So let's go ahead and make a new string up here. String of friend's name. And we're going to set that equal to an empty string as well. And when we get down here, coat name has, we're going to add a new little block of code. And in this block of code, we're going to basically ask the person, coat, what is your friend's name? I think that's grammatically correct. I don't know. I'm more of a computer science guy. And then we're going to get line, like we did above, cn. This time we want to do friend's name. Now, what will end up happening, because we've already asked for input before, is when it gets to this, it'll actually automatically skip over it, essentially, because you've already cn'd earlier, and there's already a white space there. So before this, we want to do cn white space, which will get rid of that problem. And that's just one of those things. If you get to an issue where you have a get line that's not working how you want it to work correctly, more than likely that is the issue that you are encountering. So we'll go ahead and see out inline. Nice to know your friend's name is friend's name. So again, feel free to take that white space out, this little CNWS here, and kind of see the effect that it has. I'm not going to do that at this given time. Just know that it may be something that you encounter along the way when you're working with C and C++ if you're using that getLine operator, or that getLine function. So now that we have the getLine, we're getting the friend's name in and we're outputting it. Let's go ahead and run this one more time. So we're going to go build, build and run. And so my name is John, or I'll put my name, my actual name. How many shoes do I have? I have like 3 pairs sitting on the floor right now, probably more than that. And my friend's name is going to be Bob, because that's like the most default name ever. And actually, let's do something with space. Bob S. And so now we hit enter, and it says nice to know your friend's name is Bob S. And if you were to go back and take out that white space character, more than likely it would skip over actually getting that input there, so your friend's name would stay to nothing. So feel free to play along with that. In the next tutorial, we'll be looking at building a little calculator type application and learning how to actually perform addition, multiplication, subtraction, etc. Inside of C++. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.